Cracks are already visible just 24 hours after the lights went off. Most individuals want to think they're ready, but what's the reality? They're not. Even while the refrigerator may still feel chilly, it is merely borrowed time passing. You promised that the batteries would endure, fading already. And that contingency plan you believed would help you, it isn't surviving. On the first day, everyone was in a frenzy, rushing to get frozen food, filling bathtubs, burning candles, and telling themselves they were in control. It's day 2 now, though. Day 2 is also different. At this point, reality sets in. At this point, survival is about the dangers that are never discussed until it is too late, not about snacks and flashlights. The power is still out, your phone is almost dead, and all of a sudden the most essential survival item, water, is eluding you. That faucet you've always relied on, dry or worse, leaking something that is unsafe to consume. When you twist the tap in high-rise apartments, the pumps typically fail in the first few hours, leaving nothing but air. Homes in the suburbs are not safe either. To filter, pressurize, and provide clean water to your sink, municipal water plants require electricity. There are no assurances in the absence of authority. You may still have a weak trickle, but is it safe to drink? Most likely not. The worst aspect is this: how are you boiling water without electricity? Even if a boil notice is issued, your electric kettle is a waste of space. Without electricity, your gas burner could not even ignite. That water bottle stash you snatched in a panic, it's not going to last. Not when cooking, drinking, brushing, cleaning, and yes, flushing. You may be surprised to learn how quickly toilets deplete reserves. Did you miss the first day's opportunity to fill your bathtub? You're already behind. Water scarcity becomes the main event by the second day, rather than a minor concern. As hygiene deteriorates and dehydration sets in, your family's health clock begins to tick. Everyone is at risk: elderly people, children, and pets. An annoyance has turned into a crisis of survival. The surprise that most people miss, though, is that lifelines are hidden inside your house. The silent hot water tank in the basement. It's a reservoir not simply for showers. Drain it from the bottom valve after turning off the gas or power and allowing it to cool. There are liters of potable, pure water within, the kind that could save you valuable time as the outer world devolves into chaos. By day 2, water is more than just a bother. It's the boundary between order and disorder. Don't worry if you didn't fill your tub on the first day. Use your creativity. Anything that has the ability to retain water is now valuable. Pick up the pots, pans, buckets, and trash cans lined with clean bags. Gather as much as you can from your tap. If you're fortunate enough to still have a trickle, you have choices about how to make that water safe. Rainwater or dubious tap water can be made drinkable with a simple camping filter, not even a filter. After that, improvisation is required. To boil water, light a rocket stove, a barbecue grill, or even a coffee can balanced over an open flame. Additionally, bleach is a safe alternative to nothing if you're really in a pinch. Use 8 drops per gallon of pure water and wait half an hour. Water isn't only for drinking, though. Problems with toilets arise more quickly than most people realize. You need a backup plan after the tank is empty and the pressure is lost. One bucket is used for liquids, and the other is lined with a trash bag for solids. Although it's not glitzy, it maintains your house habitable when everything else is breaking down. Water becomes life on day 2, and without a plan, life passes more quickly than you might think. Then there is the cuisine. If survival depends on water, the next critical factor is food. Your refrigerator still had a chance on the first day. Now, though, time is running short, which is why that rotten scent is sneaking out. You destroy what little cold remains in the refrigerator each time you open the door. Imagine it's insane, like making holes in your lifeboat while you're still at sea. The tactic is straightforward. Don't open that door until you have to. Give priority to goods like meat, dairy, and eggs that spoil the quickest. Even if you can't finish them all at once, cook them right away if they're already heated. Cooking gives you more time. No ice, make it better. Store it in a cooler in the coolest shaded area of your home. To assist remove the heat, place a damp towel over the cooler. Cooking itself turns into a survival conundrum. Your electric stove, useless. Have you got a backup plan? Is it a camping stove, a propane stove, or a gas grill. Otherwise, it's time to go back to the basics. Firewood, charcoal, or even a homemade fire pit will work. Additionally, don't ignore your freezer. It's a race as soon as it begins to thaw. Not only is a half-thawed chicken unappetizing, but it can also be harmful. Now is the time to cook it, or else you run the danger of getting food poisoning. Even safe food might have hidden dangers. If you don't have a manual can opener, canned products won't help. If you don't have one, you're left stabbed like a frantic amateur surgeon. It's sluggish, dangerous, and precisely how mishaps occur when hospitals aren't available. By the second day, strategy is more important for survival than comfort. Don't open the refrigerator. Cook wisely. Continue to eat. During a blackout, the decisions you make at that moment determine whether you survive or collapse. By the second night, the darkness is the true source of anxiety rather than merely the quiet. You purchased that flashlight during a sale. It is sputtering as if it is having trouble breathing. You believe the headlamp to be a savior. It is now fainter than a candle flickering. You also boasted about that expensive rechargeable lamp. It's just dead weight without power. This is where reality sets in. You didn't keep enough batteries on hand. You've lost the AAs you took from the TV remote. The junk drawer ones? Dead. Did you think that power bank would last forever? Empty. At dusk, your house becomes a dark labyrinth. Every stride felt riskier, every creak louder. Even the most courageous person might become vulnerable due to stubbed toes, invisible dangers, and the sense that the darkness itself is encroaching. The harsh reality is that you are wasting the little time you have left each time you turn on the light. Have you considered rationing? Have you made an investment in durable LED flashlights? Or did you choose the least expensive option available? What about candles? Although they would appear to be a simple solution, open flames during a blackout can be more hazardous than the dark, particularly if children or pets are around. You are left stranded once more when little tea lights burn out in a matter of hours. However, if you play it wisely, there is still hope. Limit the amount of light you use. Only turn it on when absolutely required, and use the lowest brightness level. Look through your equipment. Perhaps you have a solar light or a camping lamp hidden away. A faint glow is preferable to none at all. Charge your solar lights every day, even when the sun isn't shining. Additionally, if you must use candles, store them safely by keeping them away from clutter and draperies, and in deep jars or lantern housings. Light is security, not just comfort. You feel exposed without it. It gives you back control. The blackout is a test of your readiness as much as your patience. Wait until your restroom turns against you if you thought losing power was a bad thing. Because by the second day, sanitation is not only failing but completely collapsing. By the second day, hygiene is not only deteriorating but plummeting. Cleaning, showering, and hand washing are all impossible without running water. You've been hoarding that tiny bottle of hand sanitizer like a gem. You're rationing every sip like it's liquid gold because it's almost gone. Maybe you have a supply of wipes on hand, or you're making do with paper towels and Kleenex. What happens though when those run out? Cloths that can be reused. Yes, until you discover that there isn't any water left to clean them. Trash is accumulating in the meantime. The bags you used to throw carelessly are now piled in the corner full of trash, and there is nowhere safe to put them. Furthermore, the lingering stench is more than disagreeable. It serves as a warning. Your once secure home is suddenly turning into a bacterial breeding ground. Additionally, sickness spreads more quickly the longer you ignore it. There is also a severe psychological cost. No one wants to acknowledge that their home has a public restroom odor. But you won't be saved by denial. What is the solution then? First, carefully ration your remaining water. If at all, flush just once or twice a day. Use a sturdy trash bag to line the toilet bowl if flushing is not an option. Add sawdust, cat litter, or even baking soda to help keep the smell under control. When it's filled, tightly shut it and keep it out of your living area. Use hand sanitizer after each bathroom visit and keep it close at hand for hygiene. If you're out, use a bar of soap and a jug of water to create a basic hand washing station. Cut up old towels or t-shirts into reusable cloths if wipes aren't available, but keep in mind that you'll eventually need a way to clean them. Although it's not glamorous, sanitation is vital. Ignore it, and illness will spread more quickly than thirst or hunger. If you take good care of it, you can prolong the time that you can live in your house. But as you're battling the bugs and the stench, another danger is stealthily approaching. The luminous screen in your pocket, the one item you said you couldn't live without, is going to turn on you. Your phone no longer serves as a lifeline on the second day. The clock is ticking. No matter what you do, including dimming the screen, turning off Wi-Fi, and putting the device in airplane mode, the battery is draining and the bar is flashing red. You purchased those power banks? Gone already. Burned through on the first day as you frantically sought to contact family, browse the news, and check social media. At this point, your phone is just a lifeless weight in your grasp, and who would you call even if you could keep it charged? Perhaps cell towers are already down. Landlines are silent, calls are dropped, and texts hang. No emergency services. The officials have not provided any updates. I have no idea how long the blackout will continue. Panic then starts to set in. Will assistance arrive tomorrow or never? You're crushed by the unknown. However, it goes beyond simply keeping in touch. It has to do with sanity. That phone provided comfort, control, and diversion in addition to being a useful instrument. The world seems larger, darker, and more deadly without it. Every groan in the house seems dangerous. Outside, every shadow seems dangerous. You're really on your own now that there's no way to communicate, get updates, or call for assistance. By day 2, the reality sets in. We have centered our entire existence around a single luminous screen, and we feel powerless without it. Your phone served as your connection, comfort, anchor, and news source. And now, it's either dead or just barely alive. It dawns on you then that we have grown overly reliant on a single brittle gadget. However, don't give up just yet. If you were prepared, you could use a crank-powered generator or a solar charger to keep your phone alive long enough to receive important updates. Life-saving information can break through the silence with a basic AM/FM radio, or even better, a NOAA weather radio. When your digital address book is locked behind a dark screen, printed lists of emergency contacts suddenly become invaluable. If you weren't ready, then it's time to start thinking about how you'll connect without digital devices. Because knowledge is essential for survival during a blackout, not simply for power. Losing contact is frightening, but most individuals are unaware of the mental strain that can occur until it's too late. You may have laughed it off on the first day. Dinner by candlelight seemed warm and even romantic. The children turned using flashlights into a game. But on the second day, the novelty is no longer there. These days, it's just grown-ups swallowing down their annoyance at the simplest things. Restless kids yelling at one another, and meal after meal in the dark. Your schedule has been broken by the blackout. Yet humans thrive on it. No video calls, podcasts, music playlists, or streaming television. Even those small luxuries are lost if your phone dies. The silence feels oppressive all of a sudden. Like nails on a chalkboard, every floorboard creak and faucet leak that you had never noticed before irritates you. Every minor irritation feels heightened in the absence of distractions. This is the risk that no one anticipates. People forget about morale as they stockpile food and batteries. They overlook the fact that boredom itself is a predator. Tension increases, tempers boil, and blunders occur when there is nothing to occupy the interminable hours. Stress causes poor choices. Arguments break out, and your shaky sense of control from day one begins to erode. Then the night arrives. No heater, air conditioner, or hum of appliances to block out the outside noise. Every shuffle, bark, and moving whisper seems to be exaggerated. Sleep turns into a struggle, and day 3 will be even more difficult as fatigue sets in. The fact is, however, that in times of crisis, entertainment is not a luxury. It is mental survival. A good book, a notebook, a deck of cards, or even a candlelight story might make the difference between hopelessness and perseverance. Use your imagination. Assign responsibilities, keep everyone occupied, and establish a routine that chaos tries to disrupt. Children can help out with small jobs. Parents can plan them, and group activities can develop into customs that keep everyone together. Because it takes more than just food and water to survive during a blackout. It's about maintaining mental toughness. Everything else will fall apart if you lose that war. Essentials forgotten and security at night. Food and flashlights are no longer necessary for life by the second day of a blackout. Instead, most people forget about them altogether. The fissures really start to appear at this point. It stings to realize what you missed, and you're no longer just hungry or uneasy. Consider prescription drugs.